Okay, good evening, everyone. This is the East Lyme Board of Selectmen public hearing, and regarding, let's see, we got the notice. Yeah. The various water charges and changes. So we'll be conducting that public hearing in a moment. But first, if we could rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the public hearing phase. Ann, could you read the notice into the record?
Yeah. Town of East Lyme Board of Selectmen, notice of public hearing regarding an amendment to ordinance section 52.21 entitled, quote, various water charges, end quote. Notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held by the East Lyme Board of Selectmen at 7 p.m. on January 21st, 2026 at the East Lyme Town Hall, 108 Pennsylvania Avenue, Niantic, Connecticut, to consider an amendment to ordinance section 52.21 entitled, quote, various water charges, end quote. The proposed amendment raises the interest rate on overdue fees and charges imposed by the Water and Sewer Commission from 12% to 18%. Copies of the full text of the proposed ordinance are on file for public inspection at the office of the East Lyme Town Clerk, 108 Pennsylvania Avenue, Niantic, Connecticut, and at http://www.eltownhall.com, to which reference may be had. Interested persons are invited to attend and be heard. Dated at East Lyme, Connecticut, on the 7th day of January 2026, the East Lyme Board of Selectmen.
Okay, thank you. All right, so is there anyone that would like to address the board? Yes, and Ben, if you could just identify yourself for the record.
Ben North, East Lyme Water and Sewer. Just wanted to present some background information before we start.
Thank you.
Yep. So I'm going to pass out a packet of the first public hearing that was done on this about 2 years ago when it was put before the Water and Sewer Commission.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you can take a look and read through that, but you'll notice that this was actually put in front of the Water and Sewer Commission about 2 years ago in September of 2023. At that time, we were working under the interpretation of different counsel who had advised us through the Water and Sewer Commission that we were the sole entity required to make this rate change effective. And so we made that rate change effective for the November billing cycle in 2023, and you can see that that was signed by Kevin Seary, the Water and Sewer Chairman at that time, and was signed into effect on September 26th, and you can see that based on the minutes that you have included in front of you. So just wanted to read into the record. Exhibit A is the original notice that was given to the newspaper. Exhibit B is the section of the newspaper showing that it was printed in the newspaper. And then sections C, D, and E are all copies of those motions that were created by our attorney's office and the minutes showing that it was approved unanimously by the Water and Sewer Commission at that time. And so we've been operating under those interest rates for about 2 years now, but since we have newer counsel who read our interpretation of our ordinances in a different way and perhaps more conservative way, it was deemed appropriate to come before the Board of Selectmen to make that change at this level as well.
So, just a question, so for the past 2 years, then, the interest rate has been the 18% per year?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct. 18% per year or 1.5% per month.
So current customers are already paying the 18% that's here,
That is correct, yes.
and were there, when this was raised to the 18%, was there a sizable attendance of people? Public
I
hearing?
don't recall, there was no one that spoke under the delegations portion or under the public hearing portion. So it was properly noticed as any public hearing would be. But at this point, this is more of a housekeeping matter, if anything.
So this has already been happening?
Yes, this has already been
Going
happening.
on, so
Yes,
this isn't an additional
correct,
add-on?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mr. North?
My only question was, when would if we approve this, when would it go into effect? Apparently I missed the first call. It's already in effect.
Yes.
Yeah. So it went before the Water and Sewer Commission.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's what-
it's contained in the minutes that are now in the public
Yeah, it
hearing
was before
record.
the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, so this is essentially housekeeping,
Yes, exactly.
which I'm not good at. The exception here.
It takes a lot of diligence, right?
Any more comments for the board, Ben? Are there any questions?
So if this is approved tonight, it would basically just be done
Catch us up to-
retroactively, and catch us up to
It would be-
September.
I think it would ratify the action that was taken prior, so
Okay,
temporally, it's consistent. If we were to enact a new ordinance, then it kind of starts a new clock.
okay,
So this keeps the same clock that was started in November 2023.
okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the audience here that would like to comment to the board on this matter? Going twice, anyone that would like to comment to the board? One last time, any comments to the board? Being none, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
Move that the public hearing concerning an amendment to ordinance section 52.21 entitled, quote, various water charges, end quote, be closed.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All right, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of closing the hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The hearing is closed. All right, thank you, everyone, for your attention. And now we will immediately move into the regular meeting. We've already recited, so let me call it to order. Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen on January 21st, 2026. It is approximately 7:08, and we're following the public hearing. We've already recited the Pledge of Allegiance, so I'll ask at this time, are there any additional agenda or consent calendar items that need to be added to the agenda? Candace? No? Roseanne?
Okay.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to delegations. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the Board of Selectmen as a public delegation? Yes, please come forward and identify yourself and give your address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Brendan Boyle. I live at 24 Clark Street, Niantic. I submitted interest in joining the police commission. So I'm here to answer any questions if anybody have any for the purpose of the town to know me. I'm a longtime resident. I grew up here, was raised here, went to school. I've got 3 children in the school system. I served in the military, in the Marine Corps, and then I currently work for the Department of Correction as a lieutenant. And I've been doing that. I've been in the department for 17 years, supervisor for 5.
Okay, and you did submit, we do have your submission
I did,
to
yep.
the panel. I think what we'll do is accept any comments you have, and then when we get to the section of the agenda when we're getting ready to appoint someone to the police commission. If the board has questions, then they can recall you to the podium and
Okay.
ask questions of you. Does that sound like a
Sounds good.
reasonable way to
Yep.
do it? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
I
so much,
appreciate your
Brendan.
interest, and thank you for being here
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you for being present.
Is there anyone else? Yes. If you would identify yourself for the record, please.
That's me over there.
Yeah, there is a special exception for pictures on the wall.
My name's Esther Williams, 137 Upper Patagonia Road, East Lyme. I was asked to come here tonight and introduce myself to you. I think I know you, but I was asked to serve on the Commission on Aging, probably because I'm elderly, and I think it'll be a good fit. I grew up in this town. The Dutch Colonial across the street is the house my dad built the year I was born in 1938. That makes me very old. I'm anxious to serve on the commission because I think I know what the needs of older people are. And I hope you will consider me for that. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks so
Esther.
much,
Appreciate your interest. Is there anyone else? Yes, please, if you would identify yourself for the record and your address.
Hi, folks. My name is William Follett. I live at 10 Francis Lane in Niantic. I have submitted and expressed interest in either the Inland Wetlands Commission or the Historic Properties Commission. I served in my former town of Wilton on the Historic Properties and Historic Districts Commission, as well as the Water Pollution Control Authority, and in a couple of other things as well, numerous other groups in town. My bio has been submitted to your office. I presume you all have that in front of you or have noticed it. I'm happy to answer any questions when the appropriate time in the meeting tonight.
Thank you for your
Thanks
comments,
so much.
and stand by, please. Thank you. Is there anyone else this evening that would like to address the Board of Selectmen? It appears there are no other delegations, so we'll close that section of the agenda. Thank you for those that addressed the board. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes, and first is the public hearing minutes of January 7th, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the public hearing minutes of January 7th, 2026 as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Thank you, Roseanne. Any corrections or comments?
Yes. Let me just see if I can find it. So on page 2 of 9, under 3C, it says, Mr. Cunningham explained that the following appointments are only for people whose terms, who should be, just it's a typo, WHOSE instead of WHO''S.
That is for the regular meeting. I believe the motion was to discuss the public hearing.
Oh, all right,
Yeah,
yeah,
so we're at the
okay, that's a
public
regular meeting, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have any comments on the public hearing.
Okay, so as, with respect to the public hearing, if there aren't any further comments, it's been seconded. All in favor of accepting the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Now we'll turn our attention to the regular meeting minutes of January 7th, 2026. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 7th, 2026 as submitted.
And do I hear a second?
Second?
Second.
All right, we got a second.
Okay, so
Thank you,
now,
Cynthia. So now you have.
yeah,
you
just
have
page
corrections.
2, under 3C, who's,
Yep.
that's all, it's just a typo.
Okay, so if we can make that correction? Any other changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes as submitted with the change that we just made, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And finally, we have the special meeting minutes of January 13th, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the special meeting minutes of January 13th, 2026 as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, we got a second. Any discussion, changes, corrections to those minutes?
Just 2 typos on page 1. Let me see, like halfway down, it says intervenor status. Intervenor is just supposed to be INTERVENOR instead of ER, and the following paragraph also. So
Okay,
just two quick typos.
yep. All right, then, we'll make that change. And with that change, are there any other changes that need to be made? All right. All in favor of accepting the minutes as amended, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, next on our agenda is approval of the consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar for January 21st, 2026 in the amount of $8,847.19.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, looks fairly routine. Nothing really stands out to me. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Being none, the motion carries and the consent calendar is approved. There is no old business, so now I would ask for a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation.
Move to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation and to include Town Attorney Tracy Collins.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So now we will move into executive session. I think we
What do we do
can,
about Cindy? Call her?
yes, I'm going to call her on the phone. And why don't we go into the small conference room? If that's not-
Into executive session at 7:17 p.m. They returned at 8:11 p.m. and was stated no formal votes were taken.
Okay. All right, do we need a motion for that? No. Yeah?
Nope.
No, that's just.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we did our executive session. So the next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action. Ordinance 52.21 entitled Various Water Charges. Do I hear a motion?
Move that the Board of Selectmen approve and adopt the proposed amendment to ordinance section 52.21 entitled, quote, various water charges, end quote, as presented at the public hearing on January 21st, 2026, and to cause notice of the adoption of this ordinance to be published in accordance with law, and further, that the effective date of the ordinance shall be 10 days after publication of the public notice of its adoption as provided for by section 3.4.3 of the Charter of the Town of East Lyme.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Okay, we discussed it a little bit during the public hearing. Any further discussion or questions we might have? But we can now, we're free to discuss it fully now at this part of the meeting.
Well, when this was first brought before the board, Candace brought up the fact that it's just really expensive to exist these days, and that any further kind of taxation or billing of townspeople should be discussed thoroughly before we move forward with it. I would just like to reiterate that I support that, and
Okay.
I guess I would like to hear the rationale from townsfolk. No one spoke. Maybe Tracy has something to say?
I think if Mr. Cunningham, if you think it's appropriate, I should give you some background on this.
Yeah, maybe explain the procedural posture.
Yes.
Where we are right now.
So, to answer your question, Mr. Diebel, this ordinance, town ordinance, was enacted in 1979. And traditionally, water and sewer has always been in charge of its own budget. They have their own, they collect their own money, they spend the money that they collect. They're seen differently and always have been in the eyes of the town. And they have always had their own regulations. And the regulation was passed to raise the rates up to 18% 2 years ago. But no one caught, including me, I should add, that the town had an ordinance from 1979 that set it at 12. So what you're doing tonight really is modernizing a very old ordinance, because the tax collector, everyone who doesn't pay their tax bills in time pay 18%. The state statute is set at 18%. Sure, municipalities have the option to go lower. So our advice to the commission has always been, it's time to modernize and get up to speed. These are only overdue bills, so that if you pay your bill on time, there's no penalty, much like your real estate property tax bills. So this is really just to become current and update a statute from 45 years ago. If that answers your question.
That was exactly the sort of reason and rationale I was looking for.
Okay,
It helps.
thank you.
May I, Dan?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to thank Jason for actually bringing that up. So the way that it was introduced at the last meeting was that it was going to be the question of, do we increase it? Do we? From 12% to 18%, okay? And I am cognizant that people are having a very difficult time. And if it were up to me to raise that percentage rate up to 18 from 12%, I would say no. I would say, you know, I understand that people are having a difficult time. Clearly, if you're having a hard time paying your bill, let's try to help our people versus kicking them when they're down. That's kind of how I view it. I just, you know, the way that it's presented tonight, really as though as this has already happened, this decision has already been made and has been being taken out at an 18%. I'd love for it to not be, but it is what it is, and I understand that I'm bringing it up just kind of as it has been referred tonight as a housekeeping action. I would like to suggest publicly that maybe we try to help support our people, right? You know, and maybe give them different opportunities in paying in installments or in some sort. Just try to help a little bit. And I'm not trying to you know, like your big bad people here, or anybody else that doesn't agree with me. I just want to try to help people. And I know that it's very difficult for people, so that's all.
I know this isn't exactly a legal opinion, but I think you should be commended for that. I think the Water and Sewer Commission is very, they're on top of their budget, they're on top of providing good services for everyone in the town, they're doing all the PFAS work, and that they are very forgiving. For instance, I'm sure you all know about there was a person who their water line was crushed, and she didn't have the money to repair it, and so the commission agreed that the town was going to fix it for her and then get a lien on her property so that when she passes or sells it, that's when she would pay it back. So the commission is, in my experience, always willing to work with people to fulfill their needs, and they are very mindful. But like all of the town commissions, and particularly the ones with their own budgets, they have to be mindful that they can service their customers, and so that they have to be able to charge interest rates consistent with other property ownership taxes and fees, such as property taxes.
Understood.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, Jason. Candace, you.
I just wanted to enlighten the fact that the Water and Sewer Commission does allow for payment plans.
Okay.
Typically, we look for, and we actually don't even have a hard and fast rule. You know, we like to get 10% down, but we don't require that. We work with the customer to try to figure out, you know, what they're able to pay us, and we work out a payment plan in that regard. We also have a increasing rate structure, so the lowest water rates are to users who use the least amount of water. And that also allows us to be able to almost give a discount to those users who use very little compared to those who might be using a lot more water. it's a conservation measure as well, obviously. But there are things that we're doing to try to make sure that our impact is as minimal as possible.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ben. Is there any further discussion at this time on this matter? Are we ready to call it for a vote?
Yeah?
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion carries. And thank you. And thank you, Ben, for explaining it. The next is discussion and possible action, annual East Lyme Ambulance Fund contract modification and renewal. So we have the proposed contract, and I did pass out tonight, there was some track changes, there were some minor modifications on page 4 of the contract, and those modifications were really just to reflect what the true practice has been over the past year as the ambulance fund is independent, and their interaction with the town, with purchase of radios and supplies. It just really reflects what the custom has become, and tried to boil that down to words on the contract. I will say that a year ago, we were looking at a significant change when we discussed this same contract. We had spirited negotiations I did with the East Lyme Ambulance Fund, and we were trying to restructure public safety and separate the fire service from the ambulance service, and we achieved it. And it was through some tough negotiations, but we found the sweet spot. We agreed to it. The East Lyme Ambulance Fund became totally independent from the town of East Lyme. We no longer had firefighters driving ambulances, and they were not relying on us to supply drivers that cost us money. And the first couple of months, January, February last year, it was a very tough transition for them. They were really running a business on their own, and with all the things that go with it, payroll, insurance, everything that it takes, to run an ambulance service. And they were totally separate from the town, and I was a little bit nervous about it. I was hoping that they would be able to pull it off. And the first couple of months, January, February, March, we saw an increase in mutual aid from some of the neighboring ambulance services, but they got staffed up. They figured it out, and they've been doing a wonderful job. They've had some great successes. They've made some saves. They've got 2 ambulances on deck, 4 drivers available, and the times we have to rely on mutual aid are less, and they're able to provide mutual aid to Waterford and Old Lyme. So they've done a great job. I'm very proud of them. They really picked up the ball, and they're well-staffed now, and I'm very happy with it. So I'm happy to be able to bring this contract to the board tonight, and I wish them continued success in the service that they serve the town, and it's been much better for our firefighters. They're there to be ready to fight fires and drive fire trucks. That's their job, and that's what they get to do, so without being distracted. So that's my pitch. I would ask for a motion to approve it. Or give me the authority to sign it.
Give me a sec.
Oh, do you have the,
Yeah, I just put it.
you need the draft motions?
Yeah, no, hang on a sec. Here it is.
Okay.
I got it.
All right, ready? Move the following. Resolve that the first selectman is hereby authorized to execute in the name and on behalf of the town an agreement between the town of East Lyme and the East Lyme Ambulance Fund, Inc., for provision of emergency and general ambulance service in the town of East Lyme, dated February 1st, 2026.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any additional discussion? It's, it was a good move, and it's proven to be a successful move for them and for the town. So I'm hopeful that you'll give me the authority to sign it tonight. Any further discussion?
I just have a question
Yeah.
on the term. It's from February 1st, 2026 till January 31st, 2027. And then it says renewal and modification. This agreement shall be automatically renewed at the end of the then current term for a period of 1 full calendar year, unless either party provides written notice of non-renewal. So let's say it goes forward for then another year. Is that when
It'll
something-
automatically renew unless we give them notice. And
That
that's why
one
we're here.
year.
Yeah.
And then after that, would you renegotiate something at the end of like the 2 years?
I think it'll all
Or does
renew
it all-
until we interrupt it with giving them notice.
Okay.
And that's what happened this year. There were concerns about how, who's purchasing the radios and the medical equipment, and so we made some of these minor adjustments, and that's why we're here tonight with David Bear, who's the head of the ambulance fund, brought his concerns to me, so we redrafted certain provisions of the contract to reflect really the custom of really how they're ending up operating, where they actually, the original contract said that we would buy the radios and they would reimburse us. They're just buying the radios directly, and with coordination with the fire service that they're the right kind of radios and meet the right specifications. So, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right. I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Being none? Motion carries. And I just want to thank Dave Bear, who runs the show over there. He's doing a great job, and I appreciate him and what he's done. All right, next on our agenda, discussion and possible action, $165,329.30 for water and sewer bonding. And I see Mr. North ready to approach the microphone. So,
Good evening again. Ben
good
North,
evening.
East Lyme Water and Sewer. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this transfer of funds. Other than the legalese, which I'm sure that you've had a look at, the main point of this project or transfer is to fund a project to assist with PFAS removal at wells 1A and 6, located behind East Lyme Middle School. So if you look on, looks like it's labeled under Agenda 4C 5 of 5. There's a table that shows the current balance of various projects that are underway and the overall balance of those projects. And we're proposing to transfer some money out of projects that we've already completed, that were under budget, and to reallocate those funds for a new project. And so just to give a little bit more background, the Water and Sewer Commission is embarking on a very large capital upgrade project for PFAS removal at wells 4A and wells 1A and 6, which we're still waiting on bids and estimates to come back, but we're estimating that to be about $17 million to do those upgrades. And so this $165,000 will pay for some small upgrades that we're doing in anticipation of that larger project, and also to help with some of the initial balloon payment that will come into effect when we start having to pay for those treatment upgrades.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. So really, you're transferring from one project to another.
Correct.
You were efficient and you had money left over, and with this money that was bonded, we want to start putting that towards the PFAS problem, which is a problem we have to solve.
Right.
And this will be a start on some preliminary engineering work.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. North, or discussion? If there is none, we need a motion?
So I'm just. Do I need to read from the one you gave me, or do I need to read from?
You need to read from the one I gave you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, okay. Water and sewer bonding, all right. Move the following. Whereas the Board of Selectmen of the Town of East Lyme, Connecticut, parentheses, the town, adopted a resolution entitled, quote, "A resolution making appropriations aggregating $2 million for the construction of modifications, upgrades, and improvements to the East Lyme Water Treatment Plant projects and authorizing the issuance of $2 million bonds of the town to meet said appropriations and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose on June 7, 2023, which was approved by legal voters of the town at a special town meeting on July 5, 2023. Parentheses, the water treatment plant projects resolution, end parentheses. Whereas certain projects from the water treatment plant projects resolution do not require further funding, and there are bond proceeds from such projects in the amount of $277,163.10 that remain unexpended. Parentheses, the unexpended bond proceeds, end parentheses. And whereas the town desires to transfer such unexpended bond proceeds to other active projects authorized under Section 1 of the Water Treatment Plant Projects Resolution, and the project authorized by a resolution entitled, quote, "A resolution making appropriations in the amount of $165,329.30 for the construction of modifications, improvements, and PFAS-related upgrades to the East Lyme Water Treatment Plant projects and authorizing the issuance/use of $165,329.30 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose." Parentheses, the Wells 1A/6 Water Treatment Plant Upgrades Resolution, end parentheses. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Selectmen of the Town of East Lyme, Section 1, the total $277,163.10 of the unexpended bond proceeds are hereby transferred to partially fund all or a portion of 1, the Well 4A Water Treatment Plant Upgrade Project authorized by the Water Treatment Plant Projects Resolution in the amount of $111,833.80, and 2, the PFAS-related upgrades project authorized by the Wells 1A/6 Water Treatment Plant Upgrades Resolution in the amount of $165,329.30. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second. Any discussion, any further discussion on this? It's really a transfer from one use to another, and something we definitely have to do. So I'll call it for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is discussion of possible action. $6 million, Colony Road Bridge. And we have Alex Close here tonight to explain that to us. Good evening, Alex. Thank you for being here late.
Good evening, everybody. Alex Close, Deputy Public Works Director for the record. So this is a $6 million, it's a reimbursement program, federal local bridge design managed by state, which would be 80% federally funded and 20% state funded. So 100% of the total bridge replacement on, if you're familiar with Colony Road over Latimer, where we have got the tree filters there, that bridge, 100% funded, but it is a reimbursement program. So the town has to have a carrying cost as we move through the construction project to apply for the reimbursements for the project. But I'm here to just give you a little bit of history on why we're doing this in the first place. So in June 10, 2022, we got our bridge inspection report for all our local structures, and that report stated that the town-owned bridge on Colony Road was in poor condition. The town was advised to take action immediately on further investigation and a potential design for repair or replacement before the bridge becomes a public safety issue. So in July of 2022, we applied for the federal local bridge program through the state of Connecticut and to conduct further analysis on the bridge. And they determined that a replacement was necessary, and we entered into to apply to participate in the Design Managed by State program, which means that we would not have to provide the local match for the federal local bridge program, and the state of Connecticut Department of Transportation would provide administrative services and also front some funding for consultants to liaise and work on the project design along with our office. And so we entered that program. We were awarded that on June 30th, 2023. We were approved to participate in the program. And since then, we've been working through the state of Connecticut and their consulting partners to come up with an appropriate design for the bridge that's going to satisfy the needs. And it is a full replacement of that structure, again, to replace it before it becomes a public safety issue. And the best part about it is it's going to be 100% funded under this program. But again, there's a carrying cost associated with that. So that $6 million that you see is the estimate for the total cost of the project, including all of the administrative services. We have had a bid opening for the bridge itself just this week. Got positive number ranges in there. We're going to be now working with the DOT and moving into the contract piece of that. But it's looking like that target is appropriate. And so the resolution you have is to move this into the Board of Finance, and then this will, of course, require a town meeting as well to again fund the carrying costs so that we can move through the construction project as we pay the contractor and then apply for the reimbursements back from this federal program.
And just, if you could just repeat for me, how much are we supposed to get reimbursed? What was the percentage?
It's going to be 100% reimbursed. It's just 80% is federal dollars and 20% is state. We're traditionally a federal local bridge program. Sometimes that 20% is not funded. We applied for a special program with the state of Connecticut DOT, and we're approved for that. And so the state is going to actually cover that match for us.
Oh, great.
This is great.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. This will be, you'll see us come up again for the Fairhaven Bridge in the future, just as a heads up. That one was also approved under this program. That is still early in the conceptual phase. And the Egret Bridge as well. Also, that's even further down the road, but also looking at a potential fully funded replacement for that as well. So those will be coming down the pike, but this one is here now. We've got the bids and we're ready to move into getting the contract put together.
Okay.
Are we secured with the federal portion? Are we in any jeopardy on that?
The program's already set and done and
Okay.
authorized by the state. The money all goes through DOT.
I have a couple questions. I see it's on a residential street. Has anyone reached out to homeowners?
Yes, definitely. Yep, there is some property takings involved that the state office has been still working on and managing with the abutters there, but all the residents in the immediate vicinity have been spoken with, and we're well into this process at this point.
Okay. My other question is, and I don't know if you could answer this one, but we recently were promised some reimbursement on a portion of the school roof. And then that came back when the state said that we are ineligible for that grant. And I can't expect you to comment on that, as a totally
no
different
idea.
department.
I heard Board of Ed,
not
and it's
sure.
like, not my language.
However,
Yeah,
it was
I'm not sure.
it was a
Look
pretty
over at
stinging
Kevin over
loss,
there. I don't
and,
know, but I'm not sure about that.
I
Yeah.
just want to say that confidence in state funding and federal funding have been severely shaken in the past year or so. So I guess I would just ask you to exercise caution and make sure that every I is dotted and T is crossed, and that the state really does want to give us all that money.
Yep.
Because I have a feeling.
Definitely.
Perhaps
Kevin
they
and I
don't.
will definitely make sure we look through all the documents. And again, there is actually a consultant that the state is funding them who has been assisting us with this whole process as well. And this is what they specialize in. What they do is managing this program for municipalities. So it's definitely, there's a good team that's on this project. between our office, but also the consulting partners.
And it's going to help us out a tremendous amount. This is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it
Thank
definitely,
you
it
so
needs to
much.
be done, so this is the way to do it.
How will this affect residential traffic?
We are going to close it, so there'll have to be a detour. We have visited this already in the past, but it's time to revisit it now that we're closer to actually executing. So we'll be revisiting this with the schools, in particular with the school bus routes, and revisiting it with the LTA, just so everybody is still in emergency services, just to make sure everybody is refreshed on the plan. But there is going to be a full shutdown, because because there is an acceptable detour in the immediate vicinity. That's going to be the fastest way to take this on, and instead of creating a really long project with a bunch of traffic issues, just being able to close it and get it knocked out and then opened as soon as possible, I think is the
What is
approach.
the anticipated time?
The total construction duration, I think, is 10 months. I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the road closed for that entire period of time, but the projected duration is it's a 10-month cycle. But these contractors want to get in there and get the project done and move on. So, even though it seems like a lot of money, believe me, they want to get the work done and move on to the next project. So we'll get it done as quickly as we can.
Thank you.
Is Colony right off of 161?
Yes, it's in that neighborhood there.
Okay,
Yep.
so then, my question is, will you shut down 161 too?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. There's the neighborhood. All those neighborhoods on the east side, around the brook there. They all have these interconnected kind of loops and roads,
that's what I was gonna
which works
say.
really well for us in
Yeah,
this case,
exactly.
because we can isolate that portion of Colony relatively easily. I definitely feel for the residents that are used to driving over Colony every day to get out to 161. I mean, it's definitely, they're going to have to drive around, which I can empathize with that for sure. But relatively to, the scale of things, it's not going to be a major impact.
Yeah, because 161 is so busy.
You'll
that's
still
why
you'll
be
still
able
get
to
out
go.
there, no
Okay.
issues, yeah.
Great.
Any other questions for Alex? All right, we've already moved and seconded, so I'll move it to, what? Did we? Did we move? No, maybe we did.
No, we did not.
All right, so if I could hear a motion?
Move the following. Resolve that the resolution entitled, quote, "Resolution appropriating $6 million for the planning, design, acquisition, construction, and replacement of the Colony Road Bridge over Latimer Brook, bridge number 05623, parentheses, a federal local bridge program project, end parentheses, and related infrastructure, and authorizing the issuance of $6 million bonds of the town to meet said appropriation, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. A copy of which is attached hereto is hereby adopted and recommended for approval by the Board of Finance and the legal voters of the town at a special town meeting."
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Alex, I want to thank you and Joe. The attention to detail that you both provide to me and keeping these projects moving forward, it's impressive to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. All right, let's see. NIP funds, here we go. Discussion of possible action, $38,230.63 use of NIP funds.
I think it should be 12,000.
Yeah.
67.
That might be the total balance, and we're not using all
I
of
mean,
it. so-
if you want to give it all now, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that was the last one.
All right, so we'll just make that correction on the agenda, but
Yeah.
let's hear the motion.
Okay. Move to approve a special appropriation for the Public Works Department of $12,267 from NIP funds for cleaning town catch basins and forward to the Board of Finance for approval. Note, this requires a town meeting.
Okay, so
Second.
we have a second? All right, so let's open it up for discussion. So, the NIP funds, of course, those are the little bottles that we see scattered all over the place. And there's a fund, and we get money, is it quarterly?
I'm not sure, Kevin, do you know? Biannually.
Okay. And what you want to do is contract to have a contractor come in and suction out and clean out the catch basins. And that's, seems to me, that's an approvable use for those types of money, because a lot of times that's where those bottles end up. They go wash into the street and end up in catch basins. So I think we're in good stead in using the funds for that purpose. And as you had explained to me the other day, that you know, this particular contractor is very efficient and do it cheaper than we could do it ourselves if we were to get a suction
Right.
truck and have.
We do it through the CROG low bid process. Yep.
So it's a good deal for us and cleans up the catch basins and good use of that money. Any questions?
I happened to be home last year when this was done, and it was very efficient, no disruption to the neighborhood. The equipment came right along, lifted the top cover off the basin, giant sucking noise.
Yeah.
Huge hoses.
Yeah, it's cool.
And in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they moved on.
Yep. They
Rosanna,
do.
we should quit throwing those in your kitchen.
Yeah, please don't keep tossing them there. Yeah, they do. You know, depending on how many trucks they bring in, because we pay per basin, not per truck or per hour. We pay per basin
I think
completed.
it was basically leaves
And
from
yeah,
my
they
house.
we
Yeah,
get
they do a
like
good
80 to
job.
100 plus a day, and they just come through, and we try to do. The goal is to have half of the town done each year to keep us on a cycle where they're getting cleaned out and we're not getting behind,
Yeah.
and it's causing problems and getting things into the waterway.
That's right. It keeps it from getting, those pollutants getting into the river.
Right.
And so it's a good thing, so.
So I have a question, and I'm just swimming with paperwork up here. At the beginning of the meeting, there was some paperwork in here from Joe Bugala.
I have it. If you're, it's 4E. I have a printed copy if you'd like it with the stats.
I think I have it somewhere.
I
Where did you
I have a
pull that
printed
out?
copy.
Is it this? Summary of the
Yeah.
agenda item?
Yeah, thank you.
I have it?
I have it, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
So it's 12,267.
Right.
The current balance is 14,569.45.
I don't know what the
Wait,
current,
what?
the current balance in the NIP fund account, do we
Yeah.
know that? Maybe
What,
Kevin can.
when this was drafted, 14,569. It might be more than that now.
That's what it was, now it is 26,390.
Okay, and
Yep.
this 38 was just an oversight.
I think that was the last request that we did for it, and so it might have just been
Artifact.
an artifact. So the current request, in what you have in front of you and what's in the motion, is the 12,267. That will get the remainder of the basins that we'd like to do for this portion of cleaning, and then look at doing another round of cleaning potentially in the spring.
Yeah.
But that's what that 12,267 covers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I needed.
Yep.
All right.
Just don't know where I put it.
And this is just a one-time.
This is a one-time, so
Yep.
we're gonna keep coming back to you to keep asking for money. So the reality is there's limited things you can do with NIP funds. I believe Parks and Rec did a purchase for some of the garbage cans, to keep the water out of them. That's definitely a good use.
Yeah.
But there's really not too many things you can do. You can buy sweeper parts, and we do have our street sweeper,
Right.
so that's good. You can,
So it
You know,
does
use
fall
it
in
for
with the
some-
parameters of what you can do.
yeah, absolutely.
So we have to
It's
go
one
on
of the
that.
few things you can do explicitly is drainage maintenance
Okay.
and filtering for catch basins. It's one of the few direct things that you can use these funds for. So it's just a no-brainer.
All right. Yeah.
Great. All right, we'll call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Great. Thank you,
Great,
Alex.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is to appoint Bill Willets to check the indices for 2026.
Move to appoint Attorney William Willett Jr. to examine the indices of the land records for calendar year 2026 in accordance with Connecticut General Statute Section 7-14 for the sum of $2,000.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second?
All right, Attorney Willets has been doing it for a long time here, and we appreciate his service. He's been very fair to the town. Any discussion? All right, call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And thank you, Attorney Willets, for providing that service to us. Next on the agenda is to appoint Caitlin DeNovelis as Assistant Town Historian. Do I hear a motion?
Move to appoint Caitlin DeNovelis of 24 Laurel Hill Drive, Niantic, as the East Lyme Assistant Town Historian with a term to expire on January 7th, 2030.
Second?
I have a second. Okay, any discussion?
I have just a quick question. Why is this appearing before appointments to boards and commissions? Is this because it's a formal position and not on a board and commission? Or is it just, that's how it appeared on the agenda?
It's a-
It's an appointment.
But it's not a commission, it's just, it's an appointment.
Just
Elizabeth
singular.
asks for somebody to be appointed as the assistant historian so that she could start learning.
Okay.
Elizabeth would like to step down at some point, she said, in the next 25, 30 years.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't
No, it's a
some
good question.
reason that we needed to consider.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so, been seconded, right? So, any further discussion? So, being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to appointments to boards and commissions, and the first that we're going to consider is an appointment to the Board of Police Commissioners. And we do have, we had several applicants, and their resume or request is included in the packet tonight.
A motion?
And we had a chance to look through, and there are some highly experienced individuals, a couple of them that are really exceptional, I think. Any discussion or suggestions, motions to?
I'd like to move to appoint Vito Agaba. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, to serve on the Police Commission.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have his brief summation of his background, and I think that he would be a good addition to the commission.
Well, he certainly has an extensive resume, and not the least of which was B-52 Squadron Commander. He's currently a pilot, has a lot of awards and leadership experience. Legion of Merit Medal, Meritorious Service Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster. He's a 2-star general. I think he would be a great candidate to be on the board. Any other comments or discussion?
I would agree. I would agree.
I do too.
An impressive individual, so. Well, let's, Jason, any?
Before we call it for a vote,
Yeah.
I'm looking at his resume, and there are some, he maintains that as a Federal Law Enforcement Training Center graduate, he has a certain level of law enforcement as is. I'm not entirely sure about the Police Commission bylaws, but are active police member or law enforcement members permitted to serve on the Police Commission?
Well, he's not active in East Lyme or state of Connecticut, so
So it would have to be the town that would create the.
I mean, I don't want to offer an opinion on that. I don't think that would disqualify.
Okay.
He said, I'm just reading through, it said he retired from the U.S. Air Force as a Major General with 36 and a half years of active and reserve service. So,
He's a federally deputized officer.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I don't see that as a concern, but
Okay.
certainly it's important that you bring that to our attention.
I would hate for the board to make another nomination and vote and have a candidate disqualified for.
Yeah, I think the concern would be if you were on a local police force or even, I don't think being federal It's a little bit far removed from East Lyme, so I don't think that's a concern.
I also checked his party affiliation. He's unaffiliated.
He's unaffiliated, yep.
So, go with him.
All right. Any further discussion? It's a very important role, and I want to make sure we thoroughly discuss it amongst us here.
I'd like to thank everyone that submitted resumes
Yes.
and a letter of interest. I like the format. I've been asking for more of a formalized type of process, and I think that it's going to even get better. I
Yeah.
thank the people that are both working on that, Wendy and Don and Roseanne also. And
I'd li-
honestly, we have a tremendous amount of experience in front of us, which I value. I think that it's wonderful, and I'd like for those people to continue the want, because down the line there very well may be another seat that's available, and I would love to see, Brendan, you come back and
Please come back.
please want to volunteer. I'm very happy with what I'm looking at. I know at the last meeting I had. I think sometimes when I start talking and I start questioning, people sometimes feel like I can be a little critical, and it's certainly not my intent. I'm not intentfully trying to be critical of, what we do here, but I have recognized the need for a formalized process. There just is. And when you're doing checks and balances and you're on the municipal level, we expect certain standards from people, especially in positions that act the way that we do. So I thank you for that. I am very happy to see all of the people that would like to serve. And I had noted at the last meeting that I'm really looking for a good balance. I feel like balance on boards is really important. So I never really want to be sitting next to someone that thinks just like me. I want to think, I want different perspectives, and I think that that's where we come to really great decisions. So on the commission, to see on every commission, on every board, but specifically the police commission, having different experiences, we do need to have commissioners that have policing experience, extensive experiences to bring to the table, additionally with other perspectives.
Right.
So I love this.
No, I think, and to your credit, Candace, being critical of the process or how we do things, that's a good thing. It's a great thing. It's how we do better. And we did a little bit better this time.
Oh, I
than the first
truthfully
round.
believe that this is going to be better
But
for
part of that-
Lyme as we move forward. I do.
Part of that was you raising the issue and being, I don't want to say critical, but challenging for me, and that's good. That's a good thing, and that's how we do better. And you make me want to be a better selectman, So anyhow,
We also had another applicant who was well qualified, and I would suggest that we begin to keep a list of people
Yeah.
who have expressed interest, but in this particular case, we only had one vacancy.
Yeah.
So we do get resignations oftentimes in the middle of somebody's term of appointment. So I think that would be another good suggestion for us, is to keep letters of application on file so that we have a record and can quickly fill vacancies as they become available.
I would agree with that 100%, yes.
and I want to thank Mr. Boyle for taking the time out tonight to be here
Yes.
with us and expressing your interest. And we don't know what the future holds on any board, and please keep your interest up, if not only on the police commission, but other boards that you might find interesting. So, thank you.
I just want to add, we have to vote for this guy.
Yeah, let's vote for it. So, we ready? Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. So I congratulate Mr. Adabo. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. All right, next is Commission on Aging.
All right, for Commission on Aging, move to appoint Esther Williams of 137 Upper Patagonia Road, East Lyme, as a member on the Commission on Aging for the town of East Lyme, with a term to expire on January 7th, 2030.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All right. Any discussion?
she's
Well,
here.
we're
Yep.
fortunate we have a candidate who is highly qualified, well-experienced, many years. I don't know how many years, I didn't look to see, but I believe it's over 20 years, if not more, of service. Would you like to correct me, Ms. Williams? Would you like to tell me how many?
45 in this office, 5 in water, 50 years total.
So, thank you for continuing to serve.
Well, I want to thank you for never letting me make too many mistakes in recording items at the town hall in my early years as an attorney. I think you caught a couple of things.
I'm sure she did.
I'm sure she did.
I'm sure she did.
All right, any further discussion? Being none? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Thank you. Zoning Board of Appeals.
Move to appoint Patricia Kolosowski of 52 Indianola Road, Niantic, as a member on the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of East Lyme, with a term to expire on January 7th, 2030.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Oh, so I was
Oh,
going to say,
Okay.
I did speak to Ms. Kolosowski, and she has been an alternate for the past few years on the Zoning Board of Appeals and was most anxious to be a full member. So that's why she put in her
All right.
bid to be a full member.
Okay. Any additional comments? If not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you for willingness to serve. Inland Wetlands Agency.
Move to appoint William Follett of 10 Francis Lane, Niantic, as an alternate member on the Inland Wetlands Agency for the Town of East Lyme, with a term to expire on January 3rd, 2028.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All right. Any discussion? Mr. Follett was here tonight, and he addressed the board earlier. Do we have any further questions for Mr. Follett?
I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Follett on the Brookside Farm Commission several times.
Great.
I was very impressed.
So I do have a question. You were saying, I think when I spoke to you on the phone, you were looking at either, I think it was the Historic Properties Commission or the Inland Wetlands.
Either or, I think. Happy to do both if there's an opening there, as long as the meetings don't happen to fall on the same nights.
Okay, so do you have a preference? I guess maybe that's more my question.
I would certainly know more about historic districts, given the service, the previous service I had in the town of Wilton, as well as buildings and grounds manager at a church in Wilton, which was built in 1790. So I think I would have more firsthand knowledge of things that would be discussed in that commission, on that commission. But I would be happy to serve on inland wetlands as well.
Okay, thank you.
So are we considering him for inland wetlands, correct?
Yeah,
That was the motion.
motion.
That was
That's
seconded.
That's the motion that we
Yeah,
have
okay.
before us
All right.
now.
I could withdraw my motion.
There's no seats available on the historic.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so
It's covered
why
then.
Settled that.
don't we just go with the inland wetlands? And
Yeah,
so
okay.
that's the motion that's pending. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Follett. Appreciate your willing to serve. Historic Properties Commission.
Water
No,
and
there's
sewer.
no
We don't have
seats.
anybody
You don't have
for
any?
that, yeah.
Right, okay. All right, next, so we'll pass on Water and Sewer Commission. Do I hear a motion?
Move to appoint Mark Samarka of 33 Harvest Glen, East Lyme, as a member on the Water and Sewer Commission for the Town of East Lyme, with a term to expire on January 7th, 2030. And I think Mr. Samarka is here.
Is here.
He's been waiting very patiently.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, okay.
Would
Well,
you like to speak?
would you like to speak, or if it,
Good evening, folks. Mark Zamarka, 33 Harvest Glen. And as the chair noted, I am here for the position on the Water and Sewer Commission. Some of you may know I was a partner at the firm of Waller, Smith & Palmer for 15 years. I retired at the end of 2024. Waller, Smith & Palmer, now Carmody Torrance, has served as attorneys for the town for about the past 4 or 5 decades, if not potentially a little bit longer. During my time at the firm, I represented various boards and commissions throughout Town Hall, both at the board or commission level and also in litigation at the Connecticut Superior and Appellate Courts. I have a lot of experience with water and sewer. I've represented them for 15 years, starting with the line run to Lake Conomic for the water agreement with New London. I've worked on the Tri-Town agreement, sewer capacity, sewer benefit assessments. I have a lot of experience with the Water and Sewer Commission, and I think I could be a benefit to them, and I understand there's an open seat.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate all you've done for the commission.
Thank you.
Well, I certainly endorse you as being the chair of the Water and Sewer Commission, and I would appreciate your experience being, historical knowledge being part of that board.
Can you
I have a
vote for him
question.
as chair of the Water and Sewer Commission? Can you vote for your own commissioners?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I'll recuse myself just in case.
I just have a quick question and a comment. So, no, that's okay. You don't have to come up. But I want to note that I think that it's great, all of the experience that you could bring. I'm just a little bit concerned that it could be perceived as a conflict of interest, and does it put us in jeopardy of any type of litigation or anything of that nature with him serving?
So
Good question.
So,
spoke.
yeah, I asked too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I spoke with Attorney Collins. We
Okay.
discussed it at length, and she sees no issues with that.
Okay.
Potentially, the only thing that could result in my recusal would be something coming back regarding the landmark issues, because that's something I worked on extensively.
Okay.
And if that's the case, and I'm asked to recuse myself, I certainly would.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I
Yeah,
asked that.
that was a good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question. And the other thing is, to clarify, you're there as a commissioner, not as a lawyer.
Correct. I'm fully
You're not
retired,
arguing
papers
with him.
filed with the state, couldn't practice law if I wanted to.
Yeah, I just want to say too that I personally value the experience that you can bring for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just wanted to.
But those are legitimate concerns
Sure.
and
Yeah.
great questions.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
It's
Thank
certainly wise to air that out in public. So, and I will recuse myself, just so there's no concern. Thank you, Jason, for that.
Okay, so I guess we'll call it for vote then. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining?
I abstain.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
On to ex officio reports. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Look forward to your service down there. We need it. Yeah, I don't have any tonight because
I have some things.
You stood in for me at the police commission.
Yeah, I have a number of things to share. And I know
Okay,
it's been a
great.
long and trying meeting, but Harbor Management Shellfish Commission, we have a new harbor master who's coming online. He was appointed and nominated, and Governor Lamont put him forward, but I believe he is being vetted, and background checked, so he's not fully online yet.
What's his name?
Oh man, way to put me on the spot.
No, I said,
Albert? Steve Albert.
sorry, what did you say?
I'm now second guessing.
Yeah,
Steve Albert, I believe.
Okay, thanks.
And if I'm wrong, we'll fix that.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
and there's not a lot going on this time of year, so it's been a slow ramp up in his responsibilities. I went to the Veterans Coffee House that happens on the second Wednesday of each month, and they had a guest speaker talk about compulsive gambling in veterans populations. There's an increased risk for it. We have Stars to STEM is going to have a planetarium musical show on the 6th. We will have another Board of Selectmen meeting before then, but I thought I'd just pop that in there. We had an informal committee coalition coming together around celebrating the East Lyme 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That happened in this room a week ago. Great, very productive meeting. Next meeting will be on the 5th, and I believe open to any and all who are interested in working with this coalition to kind of celebrate. And
6 o'clock.
yeah, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Thank you. Police Commission. There was Chief Glenn did a series of reports, really technical, interesting stuff. We had Tony is no longer on the commission, but his fellow commissioners all wanted to give him a commendation on his service, and it was kind of a nice, heartfelt moment, so thank you for that. And then the new police commission chair is Regina Hitchery, vice chair is Joseph Perkins. And then the commission went into executive session, and I showed myself the door. Oh, one other thing. I met this afternoon with our town engineer, Alex Close, about some data about the charging stations. And under the language of the ordinance, he has the authority to adjust the rates a little bit. So the rates are going to be adjusted at the town hall chargers are going up 10 cents per kilowatt hour. The two other charging stations on Hope Street and Methodist will go up 5 cents per kilowatt hour. And that's going to extend probably through the summer, and then in summertime, fall, look again to see if the moving target is being hit.
Thank you, Jane.
Yep, that's it for me. Thank you.
Roseanne?
I don't have anything that needs to be said tonight. I think I've had enough to say.
I don't. And,
The East Lyme Board of Education presented their initial budget. They'll be having more discussions and more meetings on that. The Park and Rec and the youth are working on their budgets. I was asked to help on the hiring committee, the last leg, for Mr. Swan's position. So that was very good. And that's it.
Mr. Swan?
we get passed away.
For, is this for Park and Rec?
Yeah.
Okay, got it, thanks.
Great. Thank you, Candace. Cindy, anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Planning Commission. They had a very long discussion about Catbird and Cedarbrook re-subdivision. They also requested for a 30-day extension. Attorney, is it Harney? I think is his name. For an extension to question Bill Mulholland about his saying that the property is not going to be able to be built on, but reading Gary Goshel's explanation, it looks like it might be being denied, his application. So, but I don't quote me because he never got back to me today. Gary didn't. They're also looking for they were talking about the chicken poultry in East Lyme, and that would be something that's, I guess, they tell you how many chickens per, square footage and stuff like that. And so that's, I guess, okay with the POCD. And Parker, what is it, Parker Place?
Yeah.
Seems to be following along with the POCD. They are looking for a zoning change of an 830G. So we'll see what happens with that coming up. But it's a location located over near the Book Barn. So it's not right in a, odd spot. It's kind of a little off the beaten path. But it's looking like that would kind of go along with the POC, well, affordable housing is
Is
what
it-
that would go along with.
Is that the projected 60 units?
Yes, yes, it is. It is. And I believe it does not affect the sewer capacity either, from what I understand. So, but that's still just in the beginning stages. I don't even think they've totally, I think it just came in front of us and they were just talking about it. But it was a very long meeting that they had, and it was a little, it was long. So there was no inland wetland meeting this past month, and Wells to Go. I'm having a little difficulty with attending their meetings because it's the same night as another meeting I have. So I'm kind of working on that to maneuver the two meetings. So, but there wasn't much going on with that other than everyone getting their budgets all in and stuff like that. And that's all I have.
All right, Cindy, thank you. Thank you for your report. I don't have an ex officio tonight, and I want to thank Jason for covering me at the Police Commission. I was at the Board of Education presentation of the budget, along with others, and Candace was our ex officio there, so thank you. So, first, Selectmen's report. So I got a couple of things to mention tonight. I'll just give you a little bit of an update on the I-95 Route 161 project. Some of you probably got alerts that they have finally started the blasting phase, and I think that's the last blasting phase of the project. It's currently 75% complete. It's still on target to be completed in November of 2026. So, you know, we're 10 months out from that project being completed. The revised estimate for the total project is $160 million. They've expended $120 million to date. As you can see when you drive up there, they're working on the end walls for the side walls that'll support the final beams that'll go up to create that last third of the overpass. So we will see some interruptions once they start to bring this, once those walls are complete and they want to put the steel up there. That'll probably be completed in about 2 more weeks, so I think they'll start working on the steel. But they think by the end of March, all the structural concrete will be done, and then they'll be able to put the steel up there. And the concern for us, at least for me, is when they put the steel up, they have to close down Route 161. So what that does is we basically have to create 2 separate fire departments, one on the north side of town and one on the south side, because they can't get back and forth. And so that does affect our overtime budget for those for that period. But they are going to attempt to do it as efficiently as possible and get that done. The other thing I want to report is that with the old police station on Main Street. So I received notice this week, and I want to thank Alex Close for his hard work on that grant, getting it to the finish line. Attached, I have a message attached as a closing binder for the OPTD assessment project. I'll be in touch. Congratulations. And now the next step is to quote out the job. There are approved vendors that do assessment work, phase 1, phase 2 work, and we will now start the process of quoting out the job, finding out who our contractor is going to be, and find out what's there. So that's the next step, and that is moving along nicely. So I just wanted to report those things, and we're all very busy with the budget process, but pretty much around the clock, and the capital improvement plan committee doing a great job, and it's even more together than it was last year. We had a little bit of experience having done it the past year, and tomorrow I think we're taking a bus ride. We're getting on the bus and we're gonna, right? Yeah, we're gonna take the bus ride and actually look at some of the stuff that we pay for and we buy, and what a great process that is, and it really is helpful, and it's really a move in the right direction. So looking forward to that. So that's my report. I'm not aware of any communications this evening. Any public comment? All right, well, then there'll be no selectmen's response. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn the January 21st, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen at 9:19 PM.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, everybody, for all your attention. Long meeting, but we got a lot
Thank
done. Thank you.